Hi, I am Dr. Abhishek Joshi and today I will be discussing the topic that is the band pass and low pass signal of the course Digital Communication, that is KEC 601, and we are going to start with the unit 2 of this course. So the syllabus and the content of the unit 2 are as the digital communication and the modulation basics. This is the first topic which we are going to cover in this lecture, that is the band pass and low pass signal, introduction to digital communication system. So we try to complete these two topics today in this lecture. Then the PSD of line coding schemes will be covering in our subsequent lecture. The pulse shaping, scrambling, eye diagram, then the Gram-Schmidt orthogonalization scheme, and the digital modulation scheme is also covered in the unit 2, that is a modulation and demodulation of digital modulation schemes such as the ASK, FSK, PSK, DPSK and QPSK. So these basic modulation schemes and its constellation diagram we are going to discuss in unit 2. Introduction to M-array communication. So these will be covered in unit 2 of this syllabus. So let's start with the low pass signal. So what is a low pass signal and how it is represented as a low pass signal? So low pass signal is nothing but which covers or which starts from 0 and up to the maximum frequency. So it have the maximum frequency and starting from 0 is a low pass signal. If you draw this spectrum of low pass signal, how it will look like? The spectrum of the low pass signal is given by, if we are plotting for a signal the frequency domain, that is f, then the low pass signal can be represented in this form, where the bandwidth is from 0 to w, if this is the width, or this is nothing but the bandwidth of the low pass signal. So it is also applicable for the modulating signal when we are considering the modulation scheme. It may be AM, FM or PM analog modulation schemes. All these signals are the modulating signal, and these modulating signals are also known as the baseband signal. So if we have the baseband signal, it is the low pass signal of the scheme. The example we can take that this is a xt which is defined by sine of 3 pi t. So sine of 3 pi t, so if we apply the sampling theorem, if you want to find the sampling rate for this low pass signal, or it can be seen it is the baseband signal or the modulating signal. So for this, what will be the sampling frequency? Sampling frequency is nothing but, so first we have to find, before finding the sampling frequency, what is the frequency? So frequency is sine of omega t. So omega is equals to 3 pi. This means we know that omega is equals to 2 pi f, that is equals to 3 pi. So the value of f is equals to 3 by 2. So if we have the frequency according to the Nyquist rate or the Nyquist criteria of the sampling theorem, we know that fs should be greater than, that is the sampling frequency should be greater than equals to twice of the maximum frequency of the signal. So here the maximum frequency is given by 3 by 2. So if we substitute it as 3 by 2, so what we are getting, this minimum sampling frequency, that is equals to twice of the 3 by 2. So that is we are getting 3 Hertz. So this is how we find the sampling frequency for a baseband signal or the low pass signal. So these baseband signals are nothing but the modulating signal which we have seen, and how to find the sampling is nothing but using the Nyquist criteria. Now what is sampling? Sampling is nothing but we are taking the sample of the continuous signal at a discrete interval of time. So this is known as a sampling. So when we discretize the time, it is known as sampling, and for sampling there is a criteria that the sampled signal can be reconstructed or recovered back only when it fulfills this criteria. So for low pass signal we have this criteria, that is fs should be greater than equals to twice of fm. Now the baseband signal. So what the band pass signal. So baseband signal is also known as the low pass signal, but the band pass signal will have the band. Okay, so it doesn't starts from 0. So how we can define it? The band pass signals having band of frequencies ranging from some non-zero values to another non-zero values. So it means that if we are considering the frequency domain, so it doesn't start from 0. So this value is 0, so it doesn't start from 0. So where it is starting, it is having the range non-zero value to a non-zero value. So this range will be the bandwidth. The complete range will be nothing but the bandwidth of the band pass signal. It may be the now this is the lower frequency FL and this is the higher frequency FH. So the bandwidth of this band pass signal will be, bandwidth of band pass signal is FH, that is the higher frequency, minus FL. So similarly we have the imaginary or the negative frequency as well, that is minus of FH and minus of FL, and we have the center frequency FC. Here also we have the center frequency FC. Now the most canonical form of the band pass signal is given by this expression. The similar types of expression we can see in the modulation in between AM, FM or the phase modulation. So in this you will find the in phase and the quadrature phase signals. So when you have both these signals, it can be represented in the form of a band pass signal. So the band pass signal can be represented in these two forms. So we have this form as given by the FH here and the FL, where the center frequency is F0. Similarly we have this, so we have the higher frequency FH and the lower frequency FL, and the center frequency is F0, or we can represent it by FC as well. So there is one example we are going to consider for a band pass signal. So I will read the example. A band pass message signal ranging from 4 to 6 gigahertz. So range of this band pass signal is given by 4 to 6 gigahertz. What is the smallest sampling frequency required to retain the signal completely? So before that we have to understand what will be the criteria for a band pass signal. For a band pass signal, the sampling frequency, that is Fs, the sampling frequency should lie between twice of Fh by k plus 1, and it should be less than between the twice of the lower frequency divided by k. Now what is this factor k? So the factor k, or the maximum value of the factor k may be from 1 to up to the maximum value, but the maximum value of this k we can simply calculate it by FL by the bandwidth. So this is the formula to find the maximum value of k. Now consider our case. So our case is having the frequency which is ranging from 4 to 6 kilohertz. So if we draw it, it is ranging from, if it is the 0 is here and this is the center frequency Fc, and FL, the lower frequency is 4 kilohertz and the higher frequency is 6 kilohertz, and this is the frequency domain, and this is the x of f. So we have the lower frequency given by FL is given by 4 kilohertz. What is the value of FH? FH is given by 6 kilohertz. So we have the value of FL, we have the value of FH. So what will be the bandwidth? So bandwidth for this case will be FH minus FL, which is equals to, that is 6 minus 4 kilohertz, that is 2 kilohertz. So the bandwidth for this case is 2 kilohertz. Now we have the value of bandwidth. We can find the maximum value of the k. It starts from 1, but we have to find the maximum value because we have to find the smallest sampling frequency. So for smallest sampling frequency, we have to calculate this one. This factor we have to calculate, because this is the smallest value and this is the highest sampling frequency for a band pass signal. So for calculating, we have to find the value of k, that is the maximum value of k, that is FL by B. So FL is given by, so what is the value of FL? FL is given by 4 kilohertz. So the k maximum is equals to 4 kilohertz divided by, what is the value of B? So value of B, that is the bandwidth, that is 2 kilohertz. So we have 2 kilohertz. So we have 4 kilohertz and 2 kilohertz, it is simply 2. So value of k maximum value of k is equals to 2. So we have got the maximum value of k factor, that is 2. So if you substitute, so the minimum value or the minimum sampling frequency, so minimum sampling frequency will be given by minimum Fs or minimum is equals to twice of Fh by k plus 1. So that is equals to twice of, what is the highest frequency? Highest frequency is 6, or Fh equals to 6 here. So we have 6 kilohertz, I forgot to write k, divided by k plus 1. So what is the value of k maximum? 2. So 2 plus 1. So what we are getting? We are getting the sampling frequency or the minimum sampling frequency, that is equals to 2 into 6 by 3. We can cancel it out. What we are getting? Fs is equals to the minimum sampling rate for this case is equals to 4 kilohertz. So this is how we can calculate the sampling rate for a band pass signal. So this is applied only when we have a band pass message signal, and for low pass message signal we calculate the, with the help of the Nyquist criteria, we can calculate the sampling rate of the signal. So the next topic we are going to start with the digital or the introduction to the digital communication system. So the basic building block diagram of digital communication system have the source encoder. First we have the message signal, then the source encoder will encode this into the source. Then we have the baseband modulation. The modulation, digital modulation scheme may be ASK, PSK or FSK, and the source encoder will generate the bits according to the probability of the message signal. Okay. Then we have the digital carrier modulation, the multiplexer, channel and regenerative repeater. So let's discuss slightly in detail what the use of this message signal can be any message signal, but the source encoder will encode according to the least probability of the information. So whatever data will have the least probability, this least probability will be encoded or giving the maximum weightage, and the maximum weightage will be encoded in form of the digital data or the bits, that is in form of ones and zero. Now this baseband modulation or the line coding, there are different baseband modulation or the line coding is the RZ, NRZ, okay, and the digital carrier modulation is ASK, PSK and FSK. So these digital modulation carriers modulation are used ASK, PSK, FSK or QPSK or DPSK. So these modulation schemes can be used, where the NRZ, RZ, polar, bipolar, these are the baseband modulation or also known as the line coding. So what is the use of the multiplexer in this digital communication system? Multiplexer may be a time division multiplexing. This is just to increase the number of users or the subscriber. This is time division multiple axis, frequency division multiple axis or space division multiple axis. So depending on which type of multiplexing we are going to use, or code division multiplexing, CDMA, any technique can be used in form of multiplexer. So different signals we can multiplex to transmit along the single channel or single path. Then we have the channel we can consider it may be a coaxial cable, it may be optical fiber, it may be a wireless channel, okay. So channel can be any form. Then the regenerative repeaters are used to regenerate the bits which has been transmitted from the source encoder. So whatever bits are transmitted, we are going to regenerate it back so that the noise introduced in the bits will be omitted simply by using the regenerative repeater. So it repeats the bit. If it is 1, then it will be repeated as 1 only. So pure bits without any noise, without any distortion, it is generated back using this regenerative repeater. Now the line coding which we are talking about, so there are different type of line coding. This is known as on-off RZ. This one line coding is known as the polar RZ. Then we have the bipolar RZ. Then we have on-off NRZ, and the last one is polar NRZ. Now let's understand how this scheme works. We have the data 111, 00, 1011 and 000. So for half the bit durations, for example, you have the bit duration from 0 to TB. So if you have half the bit duration, you have the signal, it is known as return to 0. Return to 0 stands for you have the signal for half the bit duration. If bit duration is from 0 to TB, so half the bit duration will be TB by 2. So for TB by 2 you have the signal, and remaining it will be returned back to 0. So this is the RZ, on-off RZ. In the polar RZ, what we have is, we have the bit that is given by +1 and -1. So if we have 1, it is given as 1 for half bit, 1 for half bit, then 1 for half bit. 0 is represented by -1 for the half bit duration. Then again we have 0, -1. Then again we have 1 plus 1 for half bit, 0, -1. Similarly it continues. For bipolar RZ, it is also known as the AMI, alternate mark inversion. Okay. So in case of bipolar RZ, we invert the ones and remaining 0 is represented by 0. So here we have first one, so it is +1. Then we have second one, it is represented by -1. Then we have third one, +1. So alternately we are marking ones. Then we have 0, it is nothing. Then we have 1, so previously we have +1, so here it will be -1. Next is 0, then it is 0. Then 1, now here we have to invert -1 to +1, so here we have inverted as +1. Here we have again 1, so we have inverted it. So we are inverting the 1 while transmitting it. For on off and RZ, the whole duration will be covered. So 1, we have complete 1. 1, again we have 1. 1, we have a complete 1. 0 is represented by 0 line. Again 1, for the complete bit duration 1 is transmitted. Then we have 0, it is represented by the 0. Then we have double 1, the entire bit duration is 1. Remaining bits are 0, so here we have 0. In case of polar NRZ, 1 is represented by +1 and 0 is represented by -1 for the complete entire duration or the bit duration. If we have the bit duration TB, for the entire bit duration we will represent it 1 by +1 and 0 by -1. So in this lecture what we have discussed is, we have discussed about the low pass signal or the band pass signal or the modulating signal, and how to find the sampling of the low pass signal or the band pass signal or the modulating signal we have discussed. That is, it is following the Nyquist criteria, that is fs should be greater than equals to twice of the maximum frequency of the signal. And then we have discussed about the band pass filter and the canonical form of the band pass signal. And we have seen that the sampling frequency is lying between twice of the highest frequency divided by k plus 1, and it is less than twice of the lower frequency divided by the k factor, where the value of k is lying between 0, 1, 2, it starts from 1, 2 up to the maximum value of k. And the maximum value of k we can find simply by FL by the bandwidth, where the bandwidth is FH minus FL. And what we have seen next, we have solved one numerical based on this, and then we have introduced about the digital communication system and its basic block diagrams, that how we can represent the basic block diagram in a most compressed form. So this is how, and then we have detailed about the line coding schemes. So different line coding schemes we have summarized for a given data. So this is the data, and we have represented the different line coding schemes. So once again we will see, for on off RZ half bit duration, for 1 we have 1, 0 we have 0. For polar RZ, for 1 we have +1, and for 0 we have -1, but this is for the half bit duration. RZ means return to 0, half bit duration. For bipolar RZ we have alternate Mach inversion, we are marking the ones alternately, that is, for first one will be +1 and second one will be -1. So odd number of ones will be having +1, even number of ones will be having negative or -1. Similarly on off for NRZ, so complete bit duration we have +1, 0 is represented by 0 and 1 is represented by 1. For polar NRZ, 1 is represented by +1 and 0 is represented by -1. So today we have seen that how we are using the different low pass signal and band pass signal, and how we can calculate the sampling or the sampling frequency for the low pass signal and band pass signal, and we have introduced the digital communication system. basic block diagram and the different line coding schemes. So in our next lecture we are going to introduce about the different modulation schemes, that is the digital modulation scheme ASK, PSK, FSK and DPSK. Thank you.